Welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, a weekly battle of wits, debating everything from horseshoes to hand grenades, all for the privilege to be called right. And now, your hosts, Bobo and Travis.
Hey guys, welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. I am Travis. With me as always is Bobo.
Heyo!
Hey buddy, how's it going?
How we living?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Fuck it.
Downtrodden as always.
No, I'm a little annoyed this week. Nothing's coming up Millhouse for Bobo this week, all right?
You're right. Shall we talk about the latest?
What do you want to bring up first, Travis? What do you want to nail me to the cross about?
No. I'm not nailing you to the cross. I just think for me, it's amusing. So, Bobo and I have talked in the past about phones. Okay? And about cell phones in general. But, what we've talked about is he was pissed off when the iPhone took away its headphone jack. Rightly so, I was as well. But the problem was, I read some articles that were telling me that like everybody was going to do this. Like this was going to be the way of the future. Eventually there was going to be no more headphone jack. So Bobo said, no. You go back to Android. You're going to get your headphone jack. iPhone are the only dickheads that are doing it. Does that about sum it up?
You're paraphrasing, but I think it's a correct paraphrase.
Okay. Just all right. Got that. So, if you don't know by now, Bobo and I have started doing this podcast remotely. So he's at his house, I'm at my house, and we do this over the phone. And when he went to make his call this week, he realized he no longer had a headphone jack in his new phone. I find that amusing.
It's not funny at all.
It's a little funny. I understand how it's not funny for you, but it's a little funny.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
But generally, you like your new phone, right? What'd you get? The new Google phone?
I got the Google Pixel 2.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. It's a wonderful phone.
Except
there's no headphone jack.
Right. So.
But, in my defense, I didn't even look until I was calling you and I was trying to plug in the headphone jack and like the didn't go in.
How many tries did you do?
That's weird. Oh, just like 2. And I'm like, that's weird. Then I'm like, I have a new phone. And I looked down and I was like, and it has no fucking jack.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And of course, I bought a refurbished phone because no sucker buys a brand new phone. What are you, fucking sucker? You know what I mean? So I bought a refurbished phone.
Right.
And that had no accessories with it.
Right.
Because it's refurbished. It doesn't come with all the bells and whistles, the wrapped manual and the accessories like the dongle that's supposed to come with it.
Right, because the person who paid full price keeps that shit.
Right. So I got fucked there. But you know what? Still worth it. The phone's amazing. And I didn't have to I don't have to deal fucking Apple fucking me in the ass like they do everybody else that has an iPhone now, so.
Sure, I guess. Except, everybody else does it as well. But, that's...
Yeah, you assume everybody else does it. Until you can prove it, I'm going to assume they don't. Because I don't think what Apple did is common in the cell phone industry. I really don't. Because I guarantee you, afterwards, every other person with a phone was trying to be the next person to break the story that the other companies did it too.
Possibly.
And I think they would have found out by now. I trust the white hats of the hacker community to figure that stuff out within 24 hours of them figuring it out about Apple.
That's their time limit?
No, I'm serious. I think it takes that quickly. Those guys are fucking smart.
Oh, I know. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. For some reason, and I can't explain it, but for some reason I just don't care.
That's fine. That's fine. Because
honestly, it really doesn't. It hasn't affected me. When it all came out about the battery life, I was kind of shocked because I have a phone. My phone right now, I have the 8, I think, and my 6 is still kicking. And in fact, Mandy's using my 6 right now. But I don't see those problems personally, so I guess that's why I don't care.
Hey, you know what? Ostrich syndrome, bro.
Listen, I mean, if it doesn't affect me, why until it starts affecting me, then I'm gonna get pissed, and then maybe I'll be in Bobo land. But for right now, I'm just still I'm suckling off the teat that is Apple.
You know what? Good. You suck on that thing.
I
that
will.
Big black cock.
Did you just say a big black cock?
Yeah, the one I have in my basement.
Nice.
You never seen Big Bertha?
I don't think I have. I've heard stories, but I don't think I have.
Oh, I have a giant, 18-inch long, Coke can thick black dildo in my basement that I inherited when I bought a used car. That was in the used car when I bought it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So you inherited, quote unquote, inherited it.
I mean, it's mine now. It was in the car when I bought it, so it's probably worth more than the car that I bought. But
I feel like it was a selling point for you.
The car is no longer with me, but the dildo remains.
Well, you don't get rid of good stuff like that.
No, it's a classic. Anna's nodding her head yes, that she agrees with the dildo.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah,
good.
She does. She knows it exists, and she loves it.
I'm sure she does.
and just peeked her head in, and she literally just said, "It's mortifying."
That sounds about right.
It is.
Well, I don't know how to segue off of a big black cock, but I'm gonna try. I'd like to finally.
Roseanne?
Well, I'd like to finally let everybody know that our poll. Well, yeah, there you go. We'll get to that in a second. But I'd like to let everybody know that the polls are fixed. Everything's running right now. So hopefully we encounter no many more problems because I put too much goddamn time and effort into those goddamn polls.
We have defeated the Russian involvement in Prestige Worldwide.
Right? Yes.
You can now vote successfully again.
Right, and all votes count. All votes are accurate at this point, I would assume. But just let everybody know polls are back up and running, and you're good to go. So go to Prestige World or pwthepodcast.com and vote on all of the polls because we lost all of our data.
But you know what? We're gonna get it back with votes from listeners like you.
That's true. And there was only like 2 or 3 episodes where the poll was like really dated, so I just deleted it entirely.
That's fine.
Yeah,
no big deal.
But that happened. I'd also like to take this opportunity to gloat a little bit about my winning this week.
You didn't win. I got fucked by technology again.
Bullshit. You didn't even show up. That's how pissed off you were. I maintain. I looked at. So we're talking about the fantasy movie league that we're in, and I have been kicking Bobo's ass. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have been beating Bobo every week this week, except for one. Or this season, except for one. I haven't really up until last week. I was only ahead by a fraction. It could have gone.
It was
either
not
way.
a large amount. I could have overcome it.
You could have, but you didn't because you quit like a loser.
I didn't quit. I tried. Fantasy Movie League has changed their format now, and you have to set your lineup by league, not overall anymore. You can have multiple lineups for multiple leagues. And it's very confusing when you're in more than one league. And I'm in like 4 of them because I'm in like the Matthew Berry League, then I'm in like the General League, then I'm in our league. And
yeah.
I thought I said it for all of them, and apparently I didn't.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah. I don't really know how. Like, I wish there was a setting so you could go back the old way where one lineup is good for all.
Yes, please, Fantasy Movie League, change it back. That's all I'm asking because it fucked me this week.
Yes. Well, I mean, you weren't going to win anyways, but listen, I understand your play. But I tell you what, it's funny because Bobo and I were kind of talking about this off air, and he implied that he was done with Fantasy Movie League.
Yeah, because I'm frustrated with how the app fucked me, and I'm like, you know what? You fucked me one too many. That's it. I'm over it.
Which I'm okay with not doing it anymore because I find it kind of annoyance, anyways. However, I'm curious as if any of our listeners are willing to take us on in Fantasy Movie League. So I'm putting that out there. I'm putting that out there as a challenge.
Okay.
If you like,
okay.
If you'd like to join our league, it's gonna be called Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, the league, I suppose. And you're more than welcome to join. I don't know, how does it work, Bobo? Because I think you are the quote unquote commissioner of this league. Do they have to email into us?
I think we'll just make a new league. And I don't know how we invite them or how. Let's figure it out. We'll report back next week. I haven't even looked into it. We just talked about this literally 10 minutes ago.
Right.
So we don't have the details ironed out, but next week we'll unveil it. How's that?
So if you're interested in it in this week, what I'd like you to do is email us at pwthepodcast@gmail.com.
There you go.
You can use a burner email address if you like. We're not going to sell your information.
Don't use a real one.
We're not going to sell your information. You don't even have to put down your name. You can make up a nickname because you're going to have to do a team name, and that's all we're going to refer to you as anyways. So,
right.
Email us at pwthepodcast@gmail.com this week, or hit us up on any of the social medias, and we'll get you included, and then we'll see if anybody wants to take us on.
I hope they do.
I do too. I feel like that would be interesting.
I would love. I would like to have. I think it'd be fun to play with our listeners and have some people more, because the league is fun. If you have people interested in movies, it is kind of fun. It only takes a couple minutes a week. It's not going to take up a lot of your fucking time. I promise you, unless you want to get really into it, which is not a smart decision.
Well, no, go ahead. You're going to kick our asses then, I feel, because I put in a max 5 minutes a week. Thursdays, I set my lineup, and I do a little research on the website, and that's how I go by it, and that's it. But you're more than welcome to join us, and I hope you do. And I'd also like to speaking of movies, I'd like to talk about a movie that Bobo and I went to see this week.
Okay,
and that is,
which
that is Solo, a Star Wars story. What did you think of it, Bobo?
So I loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was great. What did you think?
Now, let me ask you a question. In generally, when you go see a movie, does it, like, for me, it doesn't register right away. Like, it takes a few days to kind of just let it sink in. I at first, I really liked the movie, and I still really like the movie. I'm actually surprised that it's getting shit on so much. I mean, I thought it was.
Is it getting shit on, or are people just not going to see it because they're just not interested in seeing it right away?
I mean, it still doesn't. It's still at a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's not a great score.
But that's a good. I mean, that means most people like it.
That does mean most people like it, but I guess, like, what did you think of the main dude that played Han Solo? I thought he was awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, dude, I agree with you. I thought he was great.
But apparently the criticism with him is he's trying too hard to be Harrison Ford, which I don't know why that's a criticism.
So I saw the movie as you did. I didn't think he was that much like Harrison Ford in terms of his pattern of speech.
Sure.
I thought that the guy who played Lando Calrissian was much more like Billy D. Williams.
Dude, Donald Glover is quickly becoming one of the most sought after actors out there. Or
yes, absolutely. And for good reason, because he nailed. I thought when he started talking, I thought Billy D. Williams had overdubbed his voice on a different body.
Right.
It was fantastic.
It really was, and I'll tell you what. I mean, he was really good in that show, Community. He has that new show, Atlanta, that I just started watching, which is really good so far. And I'm intrigued. I'm very much intrigued with Donald Glover at this point, because even like the Childish Gambino video that he just put out, like all the fucking references in that video were, when you actually watch it, it's really, really well done. I'm excited to see what he does next.
Me too.
Because I think there's big things coming down the pike for that guy.
But I mean, I thought the guy who played Han Solo was also great.
I did too. Listen, we do not have a Hayden Christensen here. There's like
no.
Yeah, like I don't like. See, but you have a problem with The Last Jedi.
Not a problem. It was definitely not as good as The Force Awakens.
But you didn't like it. You called it. Didn't you call it a piece of garbage?
I said it was the worst Star Wars movie I've seen since the prequels.
Okay, well, since the prequels, so of the 3, now 4, it's the worst one.
Every Star Wars movie is good except for the prequels.
Right.
The prequels are watchable because they've got some, like, it's Star Wars, so you'll watch them, but no one really liked them, let's be honest. If you really sat down and told me that you are a fucking fan of The Phantom Menace, then you are just way too into Star Wars.
Right.
It is not a good movie.
Yes. The only one that is halfway decent is the third of the prequels.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. That one's the only one that is halfway decent.
And again, we're talking about being halfway decent as a movie in general. It is by far not one of the better Star Wars movies, obviously. The Last Jedi was a good movie. It's just the worst of these now 5, 6, 7 movies, I think, that have come out.
Oh, okay, I see. The worst of even the original.
Oh yeah. So here's my list. I update the list every movie that comes out. Okay.
Okay. All right.
My ranking, because we like to rank things, is my favorite Star Wars movie is Rogue One. I still think that's the best one that ever come out.
Okay.
And then it's The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And then it's Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And then it's Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And then it's Solo. And then it's A New Hope.
Oh, so it's not the worst. It's better than A New Hope, huh?
And then The Last Jedi is at the very bottom of the list.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
A New Hope is great because it's the first Star Wars movie. It's definitely the worst of them, though. Like, it's very raw, and the dialogue's very... Because it didn't have the budget the other movies had.
Right, yes.
It's just a more raw movie. It's still a great movie. I'm not saying it's bad, don't get me wrong. But it inspired so many things. I mean, it's the start of them all. But as far as a standalone film, it's definitely it's raw. The budget's worse than all the other ones. It's definitely one of the worst Star Wars movies.
Right. Okay. I mean, I agree with... I think I agree with... I think I agree with Rogue One being the best. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the other ones. I haven't put that much thought into it, but I don't know. I hate to even hear that, like, that when you say Solo is the worst one of the with taking away the prequels, that insinuates that there's something bad about it.
Oh wait, no, not Solo. You mean The Last Jedi?
Or The Last Jedi? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some bad things about it. Like, there's one very bad thing about that movie that I think ruins it. I think they ruined the character of Luke Skywalker in that movie.
Okay.
I think they totally changed who he was as a character, and I do not think that it fits into the Star Wars and the Luke Skywalker paradigm. It just doesn't fit into what I think that the character is meant to be, and that will always bother me.
You know, in what way?
I don't think if you watch the first 3 movies, the original 3 movies, and then watch Last Jedi, it's not the same person.
You don't think he'd be that crotchety of an old man? Is that kind of what you're going for?
It's not necessarily crotchety. I just don't think after doing all that work in other movies and single-handedly bringing down the Empire, he would just all of a sudden run away for like 20 years or whatever. Like, I just don't think that would happen.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. What if your nephew is now like the new Darth Vader? That may rock a person. This is by far the nerdiest podcast we've done.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
I just like to listen. I just want to talk about that. I want to get it out in the open. This is the nerdiest. Like, we are now arguing about, or not. We're now discussing Star Wars. I don't know.
You know what? Star Wars should transcend nerdiness at this point. Everyone goes to see Star Wars movies. They're so fucking popular.
Yeah, but I don't think people. But I don't think people are like passionate about it. Like this. I guess I don't know. I hold Star Wars in such high esteem. I'm sad that Solo is being looked upon as a flop.
And here's the thing. I agree with you because I saw the movie. It does not deserve to be a flop. It is a great movie.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do with when it was released.
Oh, I think so too. I think, if they would have kept it down, towards Christmas, I think it might have done better.
Did you know this is the highest Memorial Day release ever? Box office ever?
Wait, Solo is?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Memorial Day weekend is traditionally not a great weekend for movies because there's other things to do. You have cookouts, you go to the beach. Like, it's not a good weekend for movies.
Yeah. Huh.
It is the best Memorial Day opening ever in the history of Memorial Day openings. And it's still a colossal flop. Now, part of that has to do with the fact that they switched directors in this movie, and Ron Howard reshot like 75% of the movie. So they incurred a lot of money. The movie cost a lot to make because of that. So it's not going to make the budget back, partly because of the reshoots.
Yeah.
And that's has nothing to do with the movie being good or bad. It just makes it expensive.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah. But listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you're on the fence about seeing Solo, go fucking see it. You will not be disappointed. I promise you will not be disappointed. And if you look at the audience reviews of the movie when it comes back, like the audience ratings and stuff, it's getting great ratings from that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of surprised that, you know, I'm kind of surprised that it is just getting, you know.
I think critics just want to have something to criticize, and I think it's easy to take pot shots at a Star Wars movie that's not the main trilogy.
Yeah,
and I think people just want to have something to complain about, and this movie fits all the cards for that. You know what I mean?
I will say too, the way that everybody was talking, I kind of assumed that Deadpool had beaten Solo this weekend, but it did not.
No.
It didn't even make half of what Solo made.
No, it did not. It's not a good weekend for movies.
So, anyways, yes, I'll reiterate what Bobo said. If you're on the fence about going to see Solo, do it. It's great. It's in the theaters. I'm gonna say this. I'm usually an IMAX 3D guy. You don't need to see it in 3D.
No, you don't. But it's so nice to see in 3D.
Yeah. I mean, it was good, but I was like, I could have gone without the 3D, but I still like an IMAX. But that's just me.
So is it fair to assume or say that you were wrong because you were not excited to see the Solo? You thought it was not going to be a very good movie.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fair assessment. I was wrong.
Okay. And, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it lived up to your expectations of what you thought it was going to be.
No, I thought it was good, or I thought it was really good. I thought the beginning was a little bit slow, but it picked up, and I really liked it. I thought Woody Harrelson did great.
So let's not talk about Woody Harrelson. Every movie he's in is great, dude. Paul Bettany was so good in that movie. I'm gonna say I really like him in most things that he's done. He's an underrated actor, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a really big fan of his, and I can't explain why, but I really like when I see him in a movie. He's always playing like a supporting character usually, and I'm always like, oh man, Paul Bettany, fuck yeah, because he always gives like solid performance. I'm shocked that you knew his name. Oh no, exactly. I think he's like, I don't know if he's like my spirit animal as far as an actor or whatever, but I love when he's in movies. He always does a great job, and he always has a memorable performance for me.
Yep. And one more thing before we make a hard right turn, if you will.
Okay. But good one.
Yes. And I will say Ron Howard keeps up the tradition of putting Clint Howard in his movies somewhere. And did you notice that?
Yes. I was going to talk about that and I forgot.
Yeah. I like that. That's always funny to me.
That is funny.
So, all right, you want to get into the real meat and bones of today?
Let's take the hard right turn and talk about Roseanne Barr.
That's what we're gonna do. So
I think everyone's talking about Roseanne Barr, and how can you not? How does somebody fuck up this badly?
That is a good point. Like, I mean, what? Like, I mean, is she that self-destructive?
Has to be.
Like, I mean, I'm just curious. Like, I'm fascinated with what she may have been thinking.
So, can I interject something about this?
Absolutely.
So, did you know? I didn't, because I was looking at Roseanne Barr because I was like trying to think to myself, how does somebody who seems like a smart individual,
right?
Even if she's a right wing or whatever, you know,
right.
She has some viewpoints that I don't agree with, but. How does somebody who seems like a smart individual do something so stupid?
Right.
Well, Travis, I have an answer for you.
Oh, okay.
What is Gary Busey's calling card?
What is his calling card?
Yeah, like what's Gary Busey kind of known for?
That he's weird.
And why is he weird?
Because he has a head injury.
So does Roseanne Barr.
Does she really?
At 16, Travis, she was hit by a car and she spent 8 months institutionalized in a hospital.
Okay.
And it's because her behavior changed so erratically after she had that head injury.
Yeah. You know what? I did know that because, and she actually became funny after that. Like that's when she really started. I think that's really when she started developing, wanting to be a comedian.
I didn't know that until I started reading about her. I was trying to find out something. Like I was trying to understand what happened to her. You know what I mean? Like mentally, I was like, why does this sort of like mental lapse happen? Now, for those of you who are living under a rock and don't fucking know what we talked about, Roseanne Barr this week basically compared an African American to a monkey in a tweet.
Yeah,
a Muslim monkey at that.
Right. She tweeted, the Muslim Brotherhood plus War for the Planet of the Apes equals VJ, which is Valerie Jarrett, which is she was an Obama. I'm not exact. I forget what position she held in Obama's presidency. Right? No, she held a position in his presidency.
Did she?
Yeah, but okay. Did I miss something? Did she do? Did Valerie Jarrett do something that warranted that tweet? Because
not that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of that too. And honestly, I don't. I'm just wondering if like she made a speech or if she did. I'm just, where does this fucking come from?
I was very confused by that as well. It seemed very out of the blue.
And I'm not like, I understand where you're going with the whole Gary Busey thing, but listen, Gary Busey isn't running around yelling the N-word. And I don't see how somebody could not understand this tweet is going to be bad.
So let's talk about that for a second. I want to break this down for people because I don't know if people understand, like, this is a colossal mess up of epic proportions. But I want everyone to know that it was absolutely intentional on her part.
Absolutely.
There is no way that everyone here, you see all these, anytime that something like this happens, you see these apologists come out of the woodwork, Travis. Oh, it was just a joke. Oh, she didn't know. Oh, she was just trying to be funny. Or, listen, everybody in the world knows what an African American is compared to when you compare him to a monkey.
Right.
Like, everybody knows that's offensive, and everybody, like, they know that it's basically a racist term for a black person.
Right.
Don't
Absolutely.
try to tell me or anybody else that Roseanne didn't know what she was saying when she said it.
And I mean, where's the joke? Explain to me that joke. Explain to me the punchline. Because, we on this podcast we've done 2 episodes now where we've done horrible jokes. Okay. And we've told insensitive jokes, racist jokes. We've told them. And, some people might have a problem with them, but they're still funny.
Right. I don't understand. Right. What's the punchline of this joke? Do you think she literally looks like a monkey? I don't understand.
Well, either way, you can't do that.
Like, even if that is the joke, anyone would, in the right mind, would know you can't say that. Even if you think they should, like, literally does like that, you can't make that joke and have to explain your way out of it.
And I understand. I get, we live in a PC culture. I get it. You both, Bobo and I have issues with that.
Absolutely.
But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to something like this, you can't compare a black person to an ape. You can't do it. Like, there's just, it's an unwritten rule of society at this point, and it's almost written.
I mean, let's look at the last time that this was actually a joke was in Clerks 2, when Randall calls someone a porch monkey.
Right.
And the joke is that he doesn't understand that, and everybody else on the planet gets it.
Right.
That's the joke. Literally, everybody knows it's offensive.
Right.
So don't tell me that a famous comedian doesn't know that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Again, we'll go back to your point. She knew what she was saying.
Right, and don't tell me, even if she knew what she was saying, it's just a joke. No, it was mean-spirited on purpose, and she fucking knew it.
I tend to believe she thought she was bulletproof at this point. She had a hit show that was doing way better than any other sitcom on a network TV or a network channel, and I think she thought she was bulletproof.
I imagine she thinks she was, and I imagine that she thought that it would not be the outrage she thought it was. I think people probably think it's a what do you call it? Like a dirty joke, like a harsh joke, and over the like she's a habitual line stepper.
Sure, yes, absolutely.
So she probably thought she was going to be stepping on that line again and pissing people off, and just completely missed the mark. It doesn't excuse what she did, but I guarantee you, in her head, that's what she thought she was doing. But
I guess
when someone who's used to being like a habitual line stepper and is probably obviously a little bit bigoted, they're going to miss the mark once in a while because they just don't understand that that's not how everybody else thinks.
Right. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I fell down a really big rabbit hole last night as I was trying to go to bed because I was reading all about this, and I went onto her Twitter and just tried to like read some of like the comments that were coming through.
Yeah.
And good God, people just don't get it.
No.
Like I don't. People were posting old tweets of from somebody. I don't know who it was. It wasn't anybody of prominence or importance, but people were posting old tweets of pictures of our president and pictures of a monkey with orange hair. And they were saying, well, why, if they can do that, why can't she do this? Like,
because that's not the fucking point.
Right? You don't get that? Like, how do you not get that? One is a white guy, one is a black woman. Like, how do you not get that?
Listen, people that want to make those excuses and stuff just don't. They want to ignore that, like, some things are considered offensive to one group of people, not other group of people, and they want to act like, well, we're all just one people, right? Like, it's a fucking devil's advocate argument that doesn't work. Stop doing it.
And I will say, I hope to never be that type of person. I don't ever want to be a person that so buys into a cause or so buys into a political movement, whatever it is, that is blinded to that. Like, if you fuck up, you fuck up. And I want to make sure that if you fuck up, like, I'm going to be objective enough to say, well, that's wrong. And I no longer support you, even though you're maybe on my team.
So let's talk about what happened after that, Travis. So the next day, which was yesterday,
right,
she came out, and now, do you know what caused her to say what she said?
No, I don't.
Well, she gives an excuse.
So, what was the excuse?
It's because she was taking Ambien.
Oh, yes,
Travis.
I did see that. Sorry. Yes, okay.
She was just groggy for taking Ambien. It's not her fault.
I mean, does that okay? Let's say if she took an excuse me, if she took an Ambien and this is what came out, does that not make her more of a racist? like if that's what it's in your subconscious, and it takes an Ambien for it to come out, I believe that makes you more of a racist.
Just like how alcohol makes you say what you really think, the Ambien makes you say what you really think. Yeah,
right. Like,
I don't think saying like it's caused Ambien makes it any better. Like, I don't magically take Ambien and then just start talking about like the Jews running Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
like,
just doesn't happen for me. I don't know. Just, it's weird. I take Ambien and I'm not a flaming bigot. Weird.
Right. She takes an Ambien and all of a sudden she wakes up with a Confederate flag chest piece tattooed on her.
How did this get there? I don't know.
Yeah. I just took an Ambien. I'm sorry. But like that is insane. Like I guess in this situation when you're under this amount of fire and like I'm assuming nobody's returning her calls at this point.
Well, she will be on Joe Rogan's podcast on Friday.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So someone's returning her call.
Wow. I mean, dude, that's a huge get for Joe Rogan. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, listen. If we could get her on this podcast, we would have her.
We tried. We gave her publicist a call. Amazingly, they didn't call us back.
Well, she doesn't have a publicist anymore. But she's seeing like I don't know who which one fell first. I don't know if the show was canceled first or she was dropped by her agent. or I don't know what, or I know Rhonda Sykes was before the show was canceled and she quit the show.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming like you see something, you see what's happening, and so you try to make up any excuse possible. I would assume. I don't know. I don't, I'm never going to get to probably that point where I'm going to have this kind of firestorm around me. I hope, I guess.
We can all be so lucky that one day we say something that gets literally that many people that upset at you. That means you've made it.
Well, you're right. You actually, you used the right term, made it.
Right. Not you are, because you'll blow it, but.
Yeah, you've hit the peak of your career at that point. Because it's never going to be the same after that one. But
now, let me ask you another question then. Do you think they should have canceled the show over it?
Do I think they should have canceled the show? I don't know.
I'm in the camp of no. I don't think they should have canceled the show. I think that was a knee-jerk reaction that ABC is going to regret.
I don't know. This is a tough one for me because canceling the show. I don't know. I honestly I don't know how to answer this one. I'm happy. I'm happy they canceled the show. I feel like in this instance, yes, I am. I feel like in this instance, that is a way. I feel like there has to be consequences to your actions.
But it hurts a lot of other people.
It does hurt a lot of other people. But
there are a lot of other people on that show, not as famous as her. Now they're now making money again and are successful because of it. That they've just basically now back to the unemployment line.
But she makes this racist comment or this racist tweet. What's she gonna do next? So what's the next thing? Like the next thing she's gonna do? Like that's I guess that's kind of the problem.
You think about like what line will she cross next, and when do you actually cancel the show at that point? Then is what you're thinking,
right? Like say she just makes fun of the mentally handicapped next time. Well, like now we have a trend of her just of her doing making these stupid fucking remarks, but that one's not nearly as bad as being a racist. So do we cancel the show now? Like I'm just I don't know. I feel like this, and it wasn't just localized to this incident either. I mean, Roseanne is famous for tweeting about conspiracy theorists. Or conspiracy theories. She thinks that Sandy Hook was staged.
Yeah, she did tweet that too. That's very true. But again, they gave her the show after that.
Right, I'm saying this is the build up to getting canceled.
But no. That build up is what got her the show. She said that stuff before she even got the show back on the air. So you signed up for that kind of person.
Yeah, but then she doubled down with the Parkland kids as well. She was calling the part.
Is that just not par for the course for her? Though? Like you knew that was the person coming.
But sure. But can your company withstand? I don't know that much. I don't know. I don't know if there was outrage at the show. I personally didn't want to see the Roseanne reboot because I always felt that like they were so goddamn negative to each other and so like just shitting on each other that it wasn't needed for the airways. It wasn't needed for the world we're in right now where that just happens, on the news. And, but Mandy watched a couple episodes, so I caught a couple of the episodes kind of in passing. And they did have some social messages that were outside of Roseanne's politics. Let's put it that way.
Right, but the show does also have some of her politics as well.
It does. It gave to both sides, which
yes.
In that aspect, that was good. I think that we need more of that. But so should it have been canceled? I don't. That's not my decision to make. But I'm happy to see a company take a stand when it's going to financially hurt them.
I mean, okay. I don't care that the ABC canceled the show. That's fine.
Yeah.
I probably would know because I think this will blow over. And I think people that wanted to watch Roseanne will still watch it.
Well, they can't anymore.
Right, they can't anymore. But I mean, I wouldn't have faulted them for not canceling the show either. Like, I don't blame ABC for what Roseanne says.
Yeah, but the story would have been ABC after Roseanne. I don't think those things flow down, Travis. I guess what I'm saying. I would not boycott ABC because of something Roseanne said. I don't think most people ever would. Yeah, but listen, it doesn't matter about most people anymore. It matters about the vocal minority.
I guess, you know what? Maybe I'd take the risk. I don't know, but
I mean, listen. The only way I can equate this is to go to the NRA. The NRA's membership is something. It's something like 2 million people.
Yep,
something like that. Which, when you vote, there's so many more people in that. However, the Congress is so afraid of the NRA because they're such a vocal group. So, maybe that would have been the case here. I don't know. But like I said, I applaud them for taking a stand and not backing a racist. And that's
I don't expect them to back Roseanne. That would be ridiculous.
Right, but are you not when your company, I don't know. You going to get fired at your job if you send out a racist email?
Again, it hurts a lot of the people when you, I'm one person if you fire me. You cancel the whole Roseanne show, you hurt a lot of other people in that show too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my only concern is that you're going to punish a lot of people for what Roseanne did when you could just publicly admonish Roseanne and not. I mean, it's whatever. I can see both sides of it. My point. I don't have a problem canceling it. I just don't have a problem if they didn't cancel it. I wouldn't blame them for trying to keep the show and just admonish her and be like, "Nah, the fuck off."
Yeah.
I'm fine
I don't know.
Way.
I see your point. I get that.
But you know what? Maybe they just don't let her take any more Ambien. It'd be fine. She was just sleepy, Travis.
I see that. Sleepy tweets equals racist tweets, apparently. But
I mean, you've heard Ann on Sleepy Times, all right? Sometimes you say some things in your sleep. I mean, I don't know. I delete all the posts that Ann says about the Jews in her sleep. So
do you edit out the N-word from?
I edit out the N-word, and she drops a lot of other slang, other slurs of other nationalities that I have to cut out too. It's really yeah. That
seems like Ann. That I am not surprised one bit at all.
It's pretty regrettable.
But I do want to talk. I want to talk about the N-word just a little bit more.
Okay.
Because while we're on the topic of race, I found this story kind of interesting about Kendrick Lamar. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Kendrick Lamar invited a white girl up on the stage to rap with him. Apparently, I saw a couple other videos like this, so I think he does this quite regularly in his
he invites
in his
people
show.
On the stage. I guess it's not an uncommon thing. Let's put it that way.
I think it's a certain song that somebody else does it, but he invites people up. And honestly, the first video that I watched, I didn't get to the video that I'm going to talk about, but the first video I watched, this girl got up and absolutely killed it. It was crazy to watch her. But anyways, what I'm talking about is he invited a girl to come up on stage, and she's a white girl. That's important because she's rapping along, and when it came to the part where the N-word was used, she used it. And I found that kind of interesting because he stopped the show and said, "Listen, you're not allowed to use that word."
Yeah.
And apparently she did it again then.
Yes, she did.
And I mean, okay.
That was probably regrettable on her part.
I would assume so. But I listen, I'm going to be the dumb white guy right now. Because I don't really listen to rap. You listen to some old school rap. I don't know.
I love old school rap. Do
you listen to Kendrick at all?
Yeah, I like Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so I don't listen. I'm not a rap guy. That's just the way it goes. So, but when I listen to the songs that I like and I sing along, I sing along. So as you as a rap fan, when you're singing along, do you censor yourself?
It's a good question, Travis.
But I'm asking you because you listen to some of this music. Do you sing along to it? Do you rap along?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good question. We'll get back to that at some point.
So I feel like it would be weird to censor yourself as you're rapping. What am I the radio edit?
In terms of if you invite a white person up on stage and they're singing the song and they sing the lyrics to the song,
right?
I feel like if you just skip what they do and don't talk about it, it's a non-issue.
Yeah, yes, I agree. But
so I'm surprised. Like, my point is, do you think he did it to prove a point? Like, was it intentional that he wanted her to do that?
Well, no, because she's not the only white girl that he's brought up on stage.
Is she the only white girl that said drop the N-word, though?
I guess so. When I was watching the video, I was listening for it, and I honestly missed it. So yeah,
it's hard to hear
until he stopped the show, and I was like, oh, okay, well, she said it, and all right. But I guess my unpopular opinion here is, is it really her fault? It's in the song, she's rapping along. Would it fuck up her flow if she censored herself?
And does it make that big a deal if you're singing along to a song? Do you know what I mean?
Because I'll be honest, when I was a kid, swearing was not allowed in my house. And I know this isn't a swear word. I know this is far different and far worse than a swear word. But when I was a kid, if you were singing along to music and it happened to be in there, you turn the other, you kind of turn the other cheek. You just,
right.
My parents didn't really say anything, kind of went away. Again, I understand the N-word is...
There's a whole section of music where only a certain race can sing it and it'd be acceptable.
I'll be honest with you. I never really thought about it until this. I just kind of assumed that if people put it in a song and people rap to it, singing along or rapping along, I just kind of assumed that was kind of kosher. Because
I was under that assumption as well, Travis, and I'm kind of wondering if we should ask. I mean, we should call Wayne up. We're gonna call Wayne and report back. No, I want to know. Are you
our
okay
resident black friend?
Are black people in general okay if white people like rap music if they sing all the lyrics to a song?
Yeah, I mean, my instinct is to say no at this point, but I don't know. I would feel weird rapping in front of a black friend. I don't know. It's just
such an interesting question, isn't it?
It is. It's very, and that's why I brought it up for the podcast, because it is an interesting question, and it is something to think about, because this girl is not the only one. She's not the only one with blame here.
No.
And blame is actually not even the right term for it. I guess she's not the only one with responsibility.
If she's up on stage and she knows the words of the song, she paid. I mean, Kendrick Lamar tickets are not cheap,
right?
So she's obviously a fan. So if you're that much of a fan of rap music that you know the words and you're paying to go to a concert, it's probably to me pretty clearly obvious that you're not a racist.
I agree.
Right?
Yep. That is a great point as well.
So I mean, does that matter? Does that play into there? Now you're admonishing a white person who obviously is a fan of your culture and your music. I don't know. It's a very interesting question to me.
It is, and it's not one that we can. I don't know. It's not one we can answer. It's not one that is gonna have an answer at this point, because everybody feels differently about the use of the N-word. There are some people in rap that won't use it at all. That don't think that it has a place in culture.
There are a lot of black people that also refuse to use it because they want that word to basically be expunged from the language, and they think if you keep using it, it just settles it in.
Right. And I mean, for me, it's not for me to say. However, I'm kind of on the side that if you use it and you take the power away from it, then that's exactly what happens. The power is taken away.
That hasn't worked because we used a lot of words for a derogatory term for the word gay, and that Mitch made the word worse.
That's true.
So I don't think that works.
You're right. I guess it doesn't work, but shouldn't it?
Apparently it doesn't, though.
Yeah, I know. I guess in a perfect world, I guess in a perfect world we use the N-word. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
It only works if you name your sports team after it, Travis.
I would love to have the Las Vegas N-words. like not even the word, not even the actual word, like the like N-words. Like that, I think that would be
with
hilarious.
the hard R. Can you imagine though, Travis?
No. no, I can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
like
it'd only be okay if you were a certain race to say the name of the team. Apparently.
Like, but I mean, I don't know. Isn't that separate but equal?
I don't, dude. This argument has so many layers. We can't dig into it. We got to get some more answers on this. We got to expand on this topic at some point.
I agree.
I mean, we're laughing about it. We're joking around, but like there are serious social issues that I'd really like to know the answers to.
I agree, and I feel like those social issues are the underlying, to all this laughing. It's the underlying context to it. But I feel like that needs to be talked about. It can't just be swept under the rug. Like I can't,
agree.
You and I can't feel, we can't feel censored enough to not say like, hey, maybe he shouldn't have gotten, maybe Kendrick Lamar shouldn't have gotten pissed off of that girl.
Well, unlike Roseanne Barr, I'm not a habitual line stepper. I would like to know where this line exists so I don't cross it.
Right.
Like in all seriousness, I just want to know what's acceptable and what's not, and I'm kind of confused about some of these things.
I mean, I'm kind of a line stepper, but I try to do it in a context of, I try not to float into racist areas.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of that as well.
Yeah. So
all
right, you want to talk about manufactured meats for a minute?
Yeah. So this is going to be our end times for the week. And I only bring this up. I only bring this up because I was listening to NPR the one day about restaurants. Like there's restaurants now that are popping up with lab grown meat, and I was
whoa. There's restaurants now that have it.
Oh yeah. Like this is the new thing. This is the wave of the future, man.
Oh.
And
I'm very interested.
And to be honest with you, this really kind of makes me feel bad, really bad inside. But I found myself wondering what Bobo thinks.
That's weird.
It really is.
That's not a good way to live.
It's very weird. But Bobo, you and I have had personal conversations about diet soda for one. And
True.
And so when you start fucking around with things like diet soda and take, the sugar out and start putting in, artificial sugar, it's starting to come out now, like how bad diet soda is for people. And it's starting to become commonplace known that it's just not good for you. And so I'm wondering what your take is on lab grown meat. Will you eat it?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you thought that was a no?
I thought you'd be a little worried, a little leery of it.
Have you not noticed? So people might not notice this about me. A lot of people in this day and age seem to not trust science.
Right.
People that like these anti-vaxxers and these juice cleanse people, they're all about homeopath and like natural cures. And
sure.
Listen, I am on the other side of the fence, Travis. I am a big believer in the scientific method in science.
Okay.
So if you find a way scientifically to grow meat in a lab, I will be the first person in line to fucking eat it.
But does it not scare you at all?
Fuck no.
Not even knowing, like I said, the thing that I kind of equated to is diet sodas at this point.
No. Because unlike that, they're not making something new. They're just recreating what's already been made.
Sure.
Like a lab grown, let's just say in general, a steak, okay?
Yeah.
A lab grown steak will be compositionally identical to a steak that you get from a cow that is slaughtered. The difference is one is built with, wizardry in a laboratory, and one is built from a live cow they kill. But genetically, they're the same thing.
I don't know enough about this to say if that's right or wrong.
Well, that's the goal. Is that they're going to make it's an exact copy of real food without killing animals to do it. That's the goal of this.
Right. Yeah.
So if you tell me it's chicken, then it's got to be chicken.
Well, from what I understand, the best application so far is what is a hamburger or something like ground beef or something like that. That is the closest to the real thing so far. However, I was reading another article today about foie gras, and I didn't know it was illegal in California, and B, so that's how some restaurants are starting to get it because it's lab grown.
Okay.
Yep. So
I'd be the first person to eat it. How about you, Travis?
Oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. What the fuck? Yeah. I'll give it a shot. Listen, I mean, I'm old enough now to realize that I should give everything a chance. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I should really still try it.
And I think the goal of it is it's going to be the same as like red meat now, like a hamburger in a lab's a hamburger outside of a lab. So there's no risk of eating a new substance and having effects on your health later. At least that's what I understand. It'd be the same effects that food's having now on you.
Now, does it make you weary at all that some of the backers behind this movement are like people like Tyson Foods and huge corporations like that?
No. Why would that bother me?
I don't know, because some of their quote-unquote chicken is not actually chicken. Like,
you know what? It's still delicious, Travis.
Still goes down easy, huh?
Still goes down easy, buddy.
All right, well, there's the answer to my question.
So how about we make that the poll this week? Would you eat lab-grown meat?
I like it.
Because I want to know, I mean, now, will vegetarians eat it? If you don't have to kill a cow?
It is vegetarian. I think it's actually vegan.
Yes, it is vegan, right?
I think it is.
God, can you imagine saying you're a vegan and you live like entirely on meat?
Well, so that is kind of the aim of some of these restaurants that are popping up. I think there's some that popped up in LA and San Francisco, and yeah, a lot of them are trying to cater still to the vegetarian vegan crowd, but have a meat option.
That's awesome.
So it is. Honestly, and if you look more into it, we're not going to get into this, but if you look more into it, it's necessary for us. The population is growing so much that we are going to run out of resources.
Yes.
So whether you like it or not, at some point, if you live long enough, you're going to probably eat some lab-grown meat.
The number is 747 banging.
747-226-4464.
The poll this week is, would you eat lab-grown meat? So go vote on pwthepodcast.com.
Yep.
Just click on the episode and go vote for us. We'd appreciate it. And listen, you can find us everywhere, okay? PW the Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media stuff. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, all that shit. It's Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. Just search for us. You can find it. It's out there, I promise you.
Yep. Let us know.
Man.
Email us about the Fantasy Movie League if you've forgotten about that already.
I just made it, Travis. So I'll post it on the website, but it's the website is fantasymovieleague.com. They also have an app you can find on the Google Play Store or on iTunes or whatever they call it, Apple.
Okay.
Whatever the iStore, whatever it is. And it's a private league. The password is Travis Bobo, all lowercase letters. We'll post that on the website.
Okay.
Travis Bobo, all one word, all lowercase. That's the password. The league name is Prestige Worldwide, the podcast.
Okay.
So
Travis
sign up.
Bobo.
You can play against us, and I will kick your ass this season. Everyone's going fucking down.
Is that right?
Just like my prediction for the box office for Solo, everyone's going down.
Just like my favorite porn movie, everyone's going down.
Exactly.
All right. You got anything else?
That's all I got, buddy.
All right. Well, make sure you head over to PW the Podcast and sign up for the Fantasy Movie League.
See you guys next week.
See you next Thursday.